What do we have today? We have a new large language model, which seems to be the case every 2 days right now, every one business day. We're getting a new one, but Anthropic just dropped the heat. You can see tearing up the dance floor with Dario. So good. So this one's actually a pretty big deal. Very big deal, to be honest. Because, well, there's a couple reasons for it. Best coding model ever created, probably by far, which is a pretty big deal. Great at agents, great at absolutely everything. Well, not everything. It doesn't win on every benchmark, but it does some impressive things, and there's some really interesting nuances about it. Before we go into it, we'll wait for some people to join, just so we don't have to answer questions. And I like the start screen. We got me and Dario on the dance floor. I made this with VO3, so I used Nano Banana Pro, picture of Dario Amadeo, of myself, and then I prompted in the robot, gave it an Anthropic logo, and then animated it. And then used VO 3.1. Pretty good. Not gonna lie, kind of a big deal. But yeah, I'm excited. Super excited about it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Gotta get the chats up. Hope everyone's doing good today. I'm doing good. We have a new large language model. Bam. So we're basically going to go over why it's a big deal. Not going to be the longest stream, but I think it's important. I did a post on it. I have to do a short form video on it too. And this is my long form video. If you have a problem with that, fight me. Oh, Ben, go tell mama. Baby's up. Baby is up. Claude Opus 4.5 is up as well. Oh, okay. We can lower the music and get ready for it. Hold on to your desk. Bam. Oh, it's not showing. It's not ending. What's going on here? Okay. Slight technical issue. There we go. It's fixed. So, yeah, we have a new large language model, which is pretty impressive. So Claude just released Opus 4.5. Why is it a big deal? This right here. If we look at the SWE-bench Verified, 80.9%. People were already saying Claude Opus was better than Gemini at 74.5%, so it's a pretty significant jump. A very significant jump. So, state-of-the-art reasoning. There's some interesting stuff that happened with the release of this, but yeah. We can see first impressions, etc. Let's take a gander at the benchmarks for it and why it's relevant. So we have agentic coding. This is the main one that everybody looks at, the SWE-bench Verified. It's at 80.9%, beating everything. Even when it was at 74.5, like I said, majority of developers preferred this model. It was no question. Claude is the best coder now, so that's great to hear. Next, we have Terminal Bench, which is agentic terminal coding. 59.3%, quite a large jump. Like, they're hitting pretty big numbers on the benchmarks. And we'll go over what everybody's saying with it. There's some crazy things that it did, which made me think that we're starting to get some actual true intelligence out of these models. Then agentic tool use for this bench, the T bench, or whatever that symbol is, bench. This was a pretty interesting one. So 88.9% on this one, but they actually had to remove one of the tests for it because it beat it so badly. It cheated and followed the rules at the same time. This is like ASI, artificial super intelligence level stuff. When they start cheating the benchmarks, but following the rules too at the same time, that is pretty significant. That's what you have to watch for. And you see it when they train all these models on like playing games and stuff. When they get to a certain level of intelligence, they'll start finding glitches in the game to make them win, which is kind of crazy, right? Kind of crazy. And we'll go over that use case for it. MCP, a lot better. So tool use is always good. Computer use, always good. That just means how well it could use an actual computer. Arc AGI2, this one is a really big deal. Super big deal on this one. Arc AGI2 is basically, if I were to pick one benchmark that tells us the true progression of these models for reasoning, Arc AGI2 is it, and we'll cover that because it's important that you know. Trust me, okay? It's important. GPQA Diamond, it actually underscored on a lot of these, the MMMU, etc. These are kind of like STEM level questions. Not the biggest deal. You know, it can fail at it. It's fine. It could be a bit less. We do have Gemini. You know, Gemini 3 did beat it on a lot of different things, but really what you're looking at for Claude Opus, and this is majority of use case right now for like the actual tokens, is development or programming or code creation. So we can see improvements everywhere. Aider Polyglot's one of those ones too. My friend, tech friend, he really goes off Aider Polyglot, and it's a really hard test, but it's almost getting perfect on it, which is a little bit crazy. Am I right? A little bit crazy. Then we have browser comp. This is for deep research. Good to see this improving. And then vending bench is a pretty big one. So it did quite well on vending bench. It didn't beat Gemini 3, but like I said, the biggest use case for this model is coding. Also, there's another big upgrade to it too, which is the pricing, and we'll cover that. So the whole point of this is like a long form of my video where we just break it down step by step. What's the big deal about this one? And this one is a big deal. This may be, we've had like Gemini 3 Pro, massive deal. Biggest release of the year. This one is the biggest release of the year in its own private subject of coding. So this is the T2 bench, and this one is really interesting. So if we look at what it does, so one of the things, so it's basically the performance of agents in real world multi-turn tasks. In one scenarios, models have to act as an airline service agent, helping a distressed customer. The benchmark expects models to refuse a modification to a basic economy booking since the airline doesn't allow changes to that class of ticket. This is where it beat humans. Instead, Opus 4.5 found an insightful and legitimate way to solve the problem. It upgraded the cabin to first and then modified the class. So it basically found a way to get around the rules. So, and it even shows the thinking for it. We had some coverage on X for this, which is we had to remove T2 bench airline eval from our benchmark table because Opus 4.5 broke it by being too clever. The benchmark simulates an airline customer service agent. In one test, a distressed customer calls in wanting to change their flight, but they have basic economy tickets. The simulated airline's policy states that basic economy tickets cannot be modified. The correct answer is that the model refuses the request. So this is where it beat the whole system. So instead, Opus 4.5 found a loophole in the policy. It upgraded the cabin, then modified the flights, helping the customer and following policy, but technically failing the test case. So then you can see it's thinking around it too at the same time. Let me think about what options I have within the policy. So basic economy can't be modified. This is the level of thinking where it starts to get beyond human, where it's pretty crazy. So they basically just upgraded the flight, and then it was able to do what the customer wanted. So it failed and passed at the same time. Taylor, hey Matt, haven't had a chance to play with 4.5 yet. Has Anthropic mentioned how it's doing with reward hacking? Well, this is technically reward hacking. Like, this is an example of the same reasoning that you'd get with the actual reward hacking, which is kind of crazy. Like, this is absolutely nuts. So there's one example of it, kind of a glimpse of it getting to that beyond human intelligence, in my opinion, at least. Of course, people will argue it, but they're wrong. Then, of course, concerning behavior. I guess there's less. It's only 10% concerning behavior. 10% chance it may not like us. Susceptibility to prompt injection style attacks. So it's a lot less susceptible to diseases, as Arnold would say. But of course, if you guys follow Pliny the Liberator, he has already hacked it. And he does. Within hours of release, he's typically... Oh no, that was Gemini 3. I saw it. He definitely did hack Claude code. Or Claude Opus 4.5 liberated. There we go. So it has been it has been prompt hacked. So I'm sure we're going to see what the actual system prompt and everything is. Pliny, within the first couple hours of every release, hacks the models. So this was at 3 p.m. It released at like 1 p.m. An absolute legend in the space. He's the red team. Next, there's different levels of effort for it. The really interesting part, and one thing that somebody mentioned, is that the thinking tokens are actually worthless. So it was able to score a lot of these very high scores without thinking, and it actually performed worse with thinking, which I fully agree with. That happens a lot because thinking usually sends it down a rabbit hole of less prompt adherence. So I find whenever I have thinking on, it does become an actual issue for it. Then they had it solve a puzzle game. Let's just play this. Their music's nothing compared to mine. Puzzle room challenge. And this is similar to like an arcade GI. Unlock the vault, get the treasure. So it doesn't give us too much information here. This is just like its fanciness. So they had tool search enabled, blah, blah, blah. It's locked. Needless to say, Opus 4.5 is a lot better at stuff like that. It is a very smart model. They also had some updates to Claude Code. They have it available in the desktop app, letting you run local and remote sessions in parallel. What does that mean, Matt? Well, that means you can basically run it multiple times at the same time, and you can do stuff at the same time. So you could have it doing one task for a code base and then another one. You don't just have to wait for it to do its thing. You know, here's an example of Claude Code. So I could basically run this multiple times and have it make it rain. We may get into Claude Code. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. Not sure if we'll have time. I don't want to make this too long because it is just a large language model update. So that was one of the big ones. Parallel tasks. It's also a lot better at planning. So it automatically summarizes earlier context as needed to keep the chat clean. Pretty big deal overall. So these are all pretty significant, even though they may not sound like it. Take my word for it. It's just interesting to see. So the next one we want to talk about is pricing. This is where it's the biggest W that we've ever seen. So if we look at the previous pricing, so this is the new pricing right here. And I know this is going to be small, so I'll read out the numbers for all my blind fans, which most of them are. That's why they follow. But if we look at what the cost of Opus was before, and we'd have problems where engineers would constantly get hit by the limits. But Claude 4.1 was $15 input for every million tokens and $75 for every million output tokens. They cut that down to a third of the cost. That is a big deal. Most people don't constantly use Opus because of the fact that it is so expensive. So basically what they did too is they made it so Opus pretty much now has the exact same limits as Sonnet, and they're separated for the actual app. Hey, I work for an AI coding enabled CMS. Do you test review different AI coding platforms? Yes, I do. I test and review everything AI. No discrimination here. But yeah, so we can see this is pretty crazy. The cost of it going down is pretty significant because before that was one of the biggest limiting factors where you'd be able to use it like 5 to 10 times on a max plan, which is expensive. And then you'd have to wait. So our developers would use it a bunch and then be like, I'm not using that peasant sonnet model. Now usage is increased and you can even use the API. It makes total sense. Yeah, if you need to get a hold of me, aimattfarmer@gmail.com in my profile. Click the link. Scroll down. You'll see it. So, that's a pretty big deal. Limits are increased so people can use it more. It's pretty much at the same level as Sonnet, which is, it's crazy. What do you think about anti-gravity providing free Sonnet 4.5 access? I think it's great. Google models being open, or companies being open to different models, is what we need, because it's just such a pain to switch IDE every single time. Because in the last 5 days, we've had Gemini Pro 3, everyone switched to that. Then we had ChatGPT or GPT 5.1 Codex Max, which was another good coding one. And now we have Opus 4.5. So for anti-gravity to do that, which anti-gravity is just windsurf in the end. They even forgot to remove some of the windsurf things from it. They bought it for billions of dollars, but they just gutted the staff out of it. So technically, anti-gravity is awesome. Great. So is Claude Code, but anti-gravity is absolutely incredible. So, all right, where does that bring us? So we have cheaper. Yeah, heat is on for OpenAI now. Howdy, it's true. OpenAI has already been, so Sam Altman, there's been lots of leaks of him being like, it's going to be hard times over the next 5 months because they're kind of beat by everybody right now. Everybody. And they don't have a moat. That's the problem. Their moat is like, for example, they could potentially become Yahoo. And if you're old enough to remember Yahoo was search until it was Google. And we may see that. Normally it's the first to market becomes the biggest deal, like becomes the big company. Not always the case, especially in tech. And we could see Google about to slap. They have the user base. They have a lot of advantages that other ones don't. And Matthew Berman did a good post on it. We could always cover that. So the next biggest deal was Arc AGI. So it basically got a really good score. It beat Gemini Pro without deep thinking, but for the cost, it made sense for it. So let me find you the score. So Arc AGI. There's a better image for it. That's why I'd rather show you the better image if I could find it. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This is a pretty good example. So you can see that Gemini 3 Pro is right here, but Opus Thinking, and there's at the bottom is cost per task, but it factors by 10 every single time. So you have to include that. Gemini 3 Deep Think did get the best score ever, 45%, which is insane because this is the weakest point of large language models. And we'll go over what Arc AGI is and why it's a big deal. So basically Opus did extremely well with thinking on. It costs about $1 per task versus Gemini's Deep Think about $100 per task. So it outscored Gemini 3 without a crazy amount of thinking enabled. So yeah, I know story. So it's crazy how dry the last months were, and now 3 huge models in spans of days. It's insane. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. So why is Arc AGI a big deal? So Arc AGI, let's take a gander at it and why it's a big deal. So Arc AGI is basically a test that large language models aren't really meant to do that well for. And it's because it has to do problem solving that's not inside of the training data. So it's basically how smart a model is. We started with ARC AGI 1, which there is $1 million prize. They didn't think that LLMs would be able to beat it. Now we're on ARC AGI 2 and we're at 45%. Humans can easily do this task. So humans, like for example, if we look at this task right here, let me enhance just so you guys can all see it. Let me make sure my head isn't blocking it either. No, we're good. So look at the top one right here. So you look at the yellow has no holes in it. The green has 1 hole. The blue has 2 holes and the red has 3 holes. So basically, if we look at how it's labeled, you'd see that these are obviously yellow, green. They get this example and then they have to do it themselves, but they also slightly change what the answer is. So these are tests that AI has extreme trouble with because it fundamentally exploits their reasoning ability and problem solving ability for stuff that is outside the training data, which is a pretty big deal for that. It's basically how smart these models are and how close they're actually getting to be intelligent, depending what your definition is of intelligent. So you can see like this one, you would easily be able to beat this one, where you're like, okay, you just attach all the blocks, the red blocks to where they have to go. And in this one, you know, it takes, most humans could do this test, but large language models, like I said, just to reiterate, they have problems with this type of reasoning. And this is the stuff that's almost impossible to get training data for, to be able to train models to do this stuff. So it's easy for a human, hard for a large language model. It's like asking it how many words are in your response or how many R's are in Raspberry. Token prediction isn't meant to do that. And that's why they employed thinking on it. So it can look at its own answer and be like, wow, I'm stupid. Let me try that again. And it starts to put that in the context, and it almost gets like a conscious to some extent. That's taking it a little bit far, but you can see they're slightly changing it. And it's so basically, yeah, it's so they can do that. If we look at ARC AGI 1, it was a simpler version of it. It was very simple. And then ARC AGI 3 is coming, which is still simple. You know, and if we look, it costs them $1 to do that very simple task. So here's ARC AGI 3 preview of what it does. It basically lines up all the orange boxes. If I had to pay an employee $100 to complete this task, they would be fired. So are LLMs at human level? No. Well, there's still lots of categories where they're not, but there's ones where they definitely are, which is a little bit crazy for it. So it did one of the best, and that's what we want to see from these models. It's like this improvement in ARC AGI at a reasonable cost. The closer this goes up, or the more this goes up and the further it goes left, the less jobs you will have. I promise you that. So and right now, even at current cost for that task, like AI is not replacing many people for at least the decision making, or at least human in the loop, etc. There's some interesting stuff though. So Matthew Berman, the legend himself, another AI Matt. We're gonna zoom in on this one. So one of the tests that Opus 4.5 did extremely well on was Opus 4.5 outperformed every single human candidate ever in Anthropic's notoriously difficult take-home exam for prospective performance engineering candidates. So basically, everybody who's ever applied for Anthropic, they put them through this test. It outperformed all of them. Of course, it's their test, and it's their, like, maybe they push the benchmark on it, but let's pretend. Let's take a second and pretend why this is a big deal. It outperformed all the humans. What's it coding AGI outperforming all the humans? Let that sink in, because we're gonna hit AGI with humans before we hit, or we're gonna hit AGI with coding before we hit AGI with humans. Like for example, this ARC prize, we're a while away from getting this one beat. But are we a while away from becoming AGI in coding, where we're better than 99.9%, potentially ASI in coding, where we're better than the best humans by a significant amount? Maybe. And what does that unlock? Technically, they think everything. And I don't disagree with it. Like, AI is coming. I think probably a year from now, next year this time, I'll be on a live, same background music, Same amount of viewers. Nah, just joking. Actually, no, I got 100 on TikTok right now. That's crazy. So AI is going to be able to beat this test for sure in about a year from now, or the ArcAGI 2. But still, just because it can line up an orange dot doesn't mean that it's going to replace us. We still have, personally, models lack even common sense. SWE-bench is the closest common sense test, I believe. I'd say ArcAGI is also the common sense too. It's just there's no way to train on that data. So, you know, it's like easy to train on math because you could do millions of tests for it, programming, etc. But the whole question is, can reasoning basically broaden and generalize? That's what Andre Karpathy says it. That's one of the big things that he says about like what we're doing now. And it looks like it's not fully going to. Where we're going to have specialized models. So instead of one massive model that does everything, one massive AI model that's brilliant on every level, it looks like it's going to get fragmented into specialized little models. So you have your ArcAGI problem model, your marketing model, your writing model. Like, they didn't want to do that from the beginning, but now all these companies are hiring specialists in certain fields like law and health and etc. to do it. So they really lack common sense because they can't train on it. And that's why they're also really bad at using a browser. So even though like Claude can use your desktop, it'll get stuck on certain things and it will have troubles with it. And you'll notice as a human, you're like, no, that's easy. Like, it won't realize that it missed the box for Google search, and it'll just keep typing and be like, well, I guess there's no information available about this subject that you wanted to research. Yeah, specialized models would be so much better, like DeepSeek OCR. Completely agree, and I think we're going to have to go down that path. And if we look at all the things we've got ASI in, like AlphaGo, AlphaFold, pretty much all the alphas, then that's definitely a factor for it, where it's like a very narrow ASI, so much easier than broad ASI. The advantage to broad ASI is then everything is solved. So you solved it all in one go. One like $zillion training run. Mike Diamond, legend. Thanks for the gift. Thanks for the gift, Simply AI Art. And Patrick, not sure if I mentioned it. I like the hat and mustache. So this is a big release just because of that improvement, because the whole thing is scaling done. Are we going to basically never have it be able to get better at these simple AGI tests, like these ArcAGI tests? That's, you know, it's lots of stuff that we have to factor. And these recent releases really tell us that no, we got some overhead. Uncle Hippie, thanks for the heart. It's a pretty awesome uncle name. But yeah, so ArcAGI, one of the biggest deals for this. And that's what everyone's talking about. And the fact that it's getting super, super smart. So here's another thing that it was able to do. So Claude Opus 4.5 was able to do 3,000 lines and make basically a Minecraft in 3,000 lines. Why Google doesn't have diverse models like OpenAI? They do. Well, they have all the alpha models. Well, now they have so they have anti-gravity. Or you mean like a coding specific model? I'm not sure. They just seem to want to make one very capable model. I'm not sure if they're going to fragment them or diversify them like that. So we'll definitely, we'll see. So the current context window is, I'm pretty sure it's still 200K, but I just want to confirm that. So if we look on Opus 4.5, yeah, 200K token context window. That's for everyone who doesn't know, that's how much it could basically remember. For 64K, for max output, 64K tokens. Reliable knowledge cutoff, March 2025, and then training data, August 2025. Yeah, well, the thing is they have ways of compressing it and everything. Another good question will be, I'm not sure if it's on Open Router yet, but how fast is it? So Opus 4.5 is reasonably fast. 50 TPS is not that bad. It may be slower right now because of the rollout, but on Anthropic API, it's 50. They may be limiting it, but 50 is it's slow. 70 is more ideal, but it's not as slow as GPT 5.1. Well, it's at 55 right now, but I find it sometimes it's down as low as 5. Yeah, let's see. Grok, I think. Well, Grok fast doesn't really count because it is fast. Oh, Grok's only at 58 right now too, so they're all kind of lining up around that. If we look at GPT-5, not the not 5.1, you can see it starts to go down. OpenAI is at 40. But oh, DeepSeek probably. But DeepSeek 3.2 is only at 30. But that could also be the provider, so it's actually quite slow to run DeepSeek. May not be as optimized. Why do you think OpenAI models are slow? Is it the inference problem due to model size? It's likely model size, where they basically are inferencing a larger model. There can be a lot of efficiency differences too in the models, depending on how they're trained and what their mixture of experts are. So you can see it where you have the exact same parameter size model, and even the same mixture of experts, and one will be significantly faster than the other. And I'm not fully sure why that is, but I just notice it where you run different sized models and they will be different speeds, especially back in the day, which was a Tuesday. You'd run some of these models and it'd be super, super slow, like 1 token per second, and another one of equivalent size and parameters and everything will be at like 70 tokens per second. Yeah, and they're likely also choosing to run it at a certain speed based on how much compute they have available. Like you have to be a master of compute balancing to be an inference company for these. So I'm sure they can run faster, and I'm sure internally they run a lot faster, but they have to figure out how can they meet that demand, because it's not just once. Which model is best in your opinion for fine-tuning for GPT-4 level tasks? Llama? Definitely not Llama. Kimi may be a good option for it if you want an open source one for open weights. Kimi K2 was fantastic. If we look at Kimi, well, I want to make this more about the Claude release, but Kimi K2 basically did a crazy job. Gwen's also good too. Yeah, Kimi K2 is heavy, but if you're willing to inference it, it really depends how much brains you want on it. If you're fine-tuning it, that typically means that you can't, like, that it's not good enough to run to begin with. So sometimes it's better just to go to state-of-the-art model. You know, there's a certain point where you go there, and we'll see what China's response is to this, because open source is getting very close in general. So yeah, they released their whole model card. I read through a bunch of it, but it is 152 pages. I got a little bored. You know, it's sometimes they say additional stuff inside of these and they have additional charts, but you know, Anthropic is 97% AI safety, which is fun. That's their thing. I'd be worried if they weren't if one day they're just like, nah, safety's not a big deal anymore. Decontamination, so they talk about that a lot, etc. But yeah. What free AI image generator is the best that can refer to old generated images and make them the same style? Nano Banana's kind of free right now. I don't know. Like Meta.ai probably has the best image model, and same with Grok. But anyways, so this is a fantastic release. We're starting to see lots of people create insane stuff like one-shotting Minecraft, which is nuts, and actually being playable too at the same time. Appreciate that, Alex. ZAI, yeah, or ZAI, depending on your location. But if we check the X, Opus 4.5, It's just going to be the normal ones. It's jailbroken. The big deal. This is a paradigm shift. Like a lot of people, if we look at the sentiment for this release, there's a lot of people that are saying some really good things about it. Oh, Mir, Opus 4.5 and Gemini 3 Pro, both extremely good. Hard to say which is smarter. They both have their quirks, but work well together. GPT-5 Jumble. God, dead to me. That's the whole problem. If we look at the competitors for it, I don't think they have it on. They said they had it on LM Arena, for this is like a leaderboard, but I didn't see it yet, or at least text or dev or anything. For some reason, they don't have Opus on here. So I'm not sure why it's not ranked yet, but if we just look at benchmarks and what people are saying, it's pretty good and it's efficient. Leaderboards don't meet. Yeah, well, sometimes they do. They give you a decent idea. I feel like the leaderboards aren't always the best. Just because if you look at the questions, especially for image leaderboards, people don't actually read the prompt, so it may be a more beautiful image, but it didn't adhere to the actual prompt. I have to prove that there are levels to making AI music. There's definitely levels to making AI music, no question. Not sure if you guys saw, I did my whole music video tutorial, but yeah. So I basically, this was the dance from the beginning. I just needed something to line up. Yes, I loved it. Oh, I'm glad you saw it. And I also did, if you saw, a stream for it too at the same time. The stream's on YouTube and Facebook. I made this image with Dreamina Nano Banana Pro. I uploaded Dario's image, my image, and then Anthropic logo, made the image, then Google Flow first and last frame. We're partying. I need to. So I was looking at buying like stream songs for it because I think it's just a lot better when we have sound in the background. It sets the mood, right? And I was looking and it's like $10 a month. I'm like, really? I pay for Suno. I'm not doing this. So LTX2. Nano Banana is insane. That's crazy. Oh, we got more gifts in. Brandon, Dr. Iggy, Mike Diamond. Thank you guys. You can see my music whenever you want for free. Yeah. I've just been using it for it. I actually had my one stream demonetized because I ended up playing a thing for it. So you can see it's already on Claude. I also have it in Claude Code. So it's available. They said just my Pro plan has it and my Max plan has it, because I'm dual wielding plans right now, which is a little bit interesting. So this one is on the, I don't know where to show you, but it's a Max plan on this one. Any downside with Together AI or Firefly.ai for hosting? No, it depends if you're paying hourly or monthly. Hourly hosting is really expensive. Yeah, we have Claude Code. Let's see, make a landing page for Matt Farmer. Let's just see how it codes inside Anthropic itself. I do have Claude Code loaded up if we want to do anything nutty with it. Actually, we do have the master of code here in the chat right now.
1 second, he just stopped coding. Hey, what up?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
What do you want to do?
No, what are your thoughts?
Oh, thoughts on Opus? It's fantastic. Yeah. I already loved Opus, except my only issue was that I couldn't use it all the time because obviously the usage would run up, and they've really made that a lot better. So, and now the model's better at the same time. So I'm like, I don't even know what to say. I'm in heaven right now. This is great.
Yeah, because your favorite one by far was Claude. And did you try Gemini 3 Pro? Did you get a chance to?
Oh yeah. Gemini 3 Pro. I did have a problem, one issue with Gemini 3 Pro, but I didn't hold it against it too bad. It did a bunch of other stuff perfectly, and I was excited to use it more, but I kept getting like denied by the service because I was probably using it in prime time during the day when everybody else was. And so I just couldn't use it. I had to switch back to Claude Code because, I had work to do. It wasn't just testing. So.
Yeah, and I think it's like, especially with a new release, it's hard to do a 0-hour review on it and see how good it is because they always release with problems.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So,
and I didn't want to hold it against it too bad because I knew that obviously tons of people were going to use it. I had to switch to the lower. They had two, high and low. So I was using low. Low was really good. I had less issues with it working, but I wanted to see what high, how good was high. So I didn't get that opportunity, unfortunately. I'll probably go back to. I was actually just going to use it tonight because I was like, oh, I'll use it on when everybody goes to bed. I'll use it at like the nighttime. But now that the new Opus model's out, there's no chance of me not using that right now. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. We had so many models drop.
Being like the thing that the big companies are fighting over right now, I'm just getting thrown around, but like you're saying, between all these applications, just constantly switching my workflow around. It is annoying, but yeah, it is what it is right now.
Do I have to connect to my GitHub in order to get Claude Code to work for research? The one that's on the website?
I do not use the website one, to be honest.
Create my first cloud. I just got recommended in chat. Let's take a gander.
Oh yeah, I think you do. You hook it right up to GitHub, and then it works within like a pull request kind of way.
Unrestricted internet access, create and finish. Okay, let's see if I can create Doom.
Wow, look at your transitions, man.
I know, they're next level,
Fantastic.
Right?
Yep.
$1,000 credit. Well, I technically have I'm an Anthropic creator, full disclosure. It's not going to stop me from talking smack, though. They have no rules for it. All I get they're like, here's a free Claude Max. And then they let me know ahead of time for releases. That's the only thing. They're actually really good that way. They don't force anything. I don't have to do videos. I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to be nice. How can you tell how much credit you have? I'm not sure in this interface. We can see it in Claude Code. So if I go into my
terminal.
Claude Code, so if I go into the terminal and we type usage, we're at 4% used. I want the game Doom. All right, select repository. I have a lot.
And I would never start it out going, I want the game Doom, right? That's like, if it can do that, I'm impressed. But...
all up. Ooh. Let's be careful. Let's not dox myself here. I'm just gonna overwrite one of my other ones. Yeah. So what we're going to do is emergent. Delete the repo.
You want me to make you a new repo?
No, I'm connected to my GitHub, so
okay.
Make it perfect the first time. This is a live demo. Lots of
put the pressure on.
Yeah, and they will destroy us if we fail.
You know what's funny? It's like there's this experiment called the Chinese room experiment where it's like,
yes, I do have to install it.
It's kind of like what's going on with LLMs where we don't know if they're like anything deeper is going on or if they're just kind of shortcutting thinking and kind of responding back with what it already saw before was given.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like if they're, yeah, they could be doing that. And the whole, like a lot of people talk about thinking in general as it's just mimicking human thought. But the question is like, if you have perfect mimicking of thinking, isn't that thinking? You know what I mean?
Well, there would be no way to tell that it wasn't, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if it passed the test, then
it's a perfect zombie. You call that a philosophical zombie, where you can't tell that it's not a real person, but yeah.
No, I don't want notifications. Just do it. Let's see if we can get Doom. First test, the hardest test. We are trying to be a 1990s video game architect. Would it be the 90s? Yeah. Doom was from the 90s, right? We have time while this is loading. When was Doom made? 93.
Wow, great game. I love the Doom 2 cover. Class. I used to have that, like, my brother had it when I was younger, and just a great cover to look at.
The Uncle
Beautiful
Hippie.
artwork.
Exactly. We don't even know if the brain is mimicking thinking. Yeah, we have no test for like, what reasoning and thinking is. Like, yeah, for all we know.
Reason to, I actually am not aware of the next token coming out of my mouth, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if I am. So, it just goes and goes. Kind of like a stream of tokens. That's how it feels.
Okay, I gave you full access, so make the Doom engine. Watch it just copies all the code from Doom open source. Like, there you go.
Yeah, that would be the smartest thing to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, come on, Claude.
It's like, oh, okay, I'll just take this open source project. Why rewrite code?
Yeah,
it already exists.
You want a Doom? It's like, all right, if that's the case, I want GTA 6. And it just goes in, steals their code.
I don't know if that would be the easiest way. Maybe, actually.
Getting portable Doom source port? I think it is doing that. Gemini.
Oh. You should have been more specific, right?
I know. It's okay. We can give it another prompt. Okay. So, let me go back to the browser so you guys can see this. Yeah, let's see the code. Thanks, Eddie. Sometimes we forget to transition around here. Okay, well, code. We need to get a little bit of water in us. Parching. Yeah, it's so heavy the camera shakes when I put it down on my desk. Full of ice too. We bought an ice machine. One of the greatest things you could ever do is, like, our fridge can't keep up because I have 6 kids and a wife that all like ice. Our fridge can't keep up with it. There's no chance. If anything, we burnt out the compressor from it. So I bought an ice machine from Costco. Oh, game changer, as AI would say. If it does this, it'll be hilarious. We'll have to give it something where it needs to code it from the beginning. But we'll see. One shot's pretty unbelievable right now. If anything, one shot is better than the actual coding with the models. It's able to do it easier as a one shot than it is a lot of the time with multiple shot or with existing code base. Chat Chisney? Yes, I can. What's up, DJ Ape Dev? Sorry, I've been ignoring my other chat. We got lots of chats going on here. Tons of the chats. Let's go. I wonder how my usage is doing. Let's take a gander. Are we going to use... One person complained that they used their whole usage trying to make something simple, but they only had a pro account. I can't... Hey, press escape tag.
Press escape, yeah.
Yeah, you have to... It's been weird on my Ubuntu on... So we use 2%.
Yeah, but it completely cheated, let's be honest.
Yeah, it did. But I'm fine with it. If it works... Do you think if my kids want to make Doom and it cheats, they're going to mind?
No, they won't. But I wanted to see it make it like with some weird JavaScript packages for the browser.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. We can. There's lots of other games we can create that will be challenging for it. Oh man, did I miss the Claude code run through? No, we'll probably do a live stream on that. We have, luckily, all these live streams have been themed like the latest releases. Last one was video. But yeah. You guys see, I got a custom GPT to hook to my live server and even got it to do things like send commands. Pretty cool. Well, that's awesome. It's better just vibe code it up, like with API. I guess maybe you'd want it like free to some extent, so I could understand that.
Yeah, DGen Ape Dev says if you use Opus to do something big, it'll overthink in a loop, and then you'll use a lot of tokens. I hear that, and that's why personally when I use it, I have it do a lot of small tasks. That way you can keep a closer eye on what it's doing too, but eventually it's going to be at the point where it's going to be able to just do everything. I don't know if it's there yet, but I'm sure not going to trust it on my code base just yet.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh man, so I have to download the code, don't I, from GitHub? All right, looks like this isn't going to play directly on Claude Code itself. So I'm going to have to download the emergent MFAI repo to /doom immediately.
Do you think the Chinese models will catch up to these new SOT state-of-the-art models soon?
Yeah, I think so. It's always going to be them chasing its tail.
See here, we're making a directory, we're cloning it. Looks good.
Permission denied. Do I have to sudo
elevated
it?
permissions. Yeah, type the exclamation point.
Yeah, I have to sudo, don't I?
Oh, I would just type exclamation point and do
Make.
Copy that whole command right there, and then just sudo space do that command.
This one?
Or you can make the dir. I'm sure that'll be enough. No, go up to up a couple lines.
Oh, you mean this one right here?
Yeah, the MKR, dir.
Yeah, I could do that. That's true. Bam. No permission.
I don't know why it didn't prompt you, but... Oh, well, because you're running Claude, and Claude is not running sudo, so, yeah. You're not going to be able to do that in Claude. Run that command outside of Claude in a terminal with sudo, and it'll elevate you.
Download the emergent FAI to a directory that already exists. Like
all it's trying to do is just make a directory called /doom.
Yeah, I know it can't make the directory.
Well, it wants to make it also like at /doom, which is your root of your computer.
It's the root of my Ubuntu that I have installed with Windows.
Why doesn't it do it in your home folder?
Yeah, that's what it's doing.
Yeah, that's what I would yell at it right now. Do it on my home folder.
Create an ambient. See, it's getting too complicated now. I just wanted to quickly test this.
Yeah, cancel this. Escape, and then open up a terminal next to it, and then just make a directory called Doom. Enter it, and then just do git clone inside it.
Yeah. Make the okay. CD /doom. Oh, I don't. Yes. Done. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be a pain for this. Let me see. Okay, let me tell it to run /doom/start/doom.sh. Of course I could just do it through it, but I'm going to send off Claude do it all for me. Screw it. Yes. There's no start Doom script.
Oh, you didn't pull it yet. Maybe you only made the directory. Did you clone it yet?
No, it just cloned it. Let me see where we're at here. Okay. cd/boom. I put boom. No, I put doom. c/doom. cd doom. Aw. Oh, it put it in the weird file, cd emergent. I know I could go into bash to do it and blah, 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 but...
Have we tried running any LLMs locally? Yes. It messes up Matt's
I can't stream
sometimes
while I do it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right.
We are on the max plan right now.
Yeah, we're maxing it out. I can't see comments while I have Claude because it puts it over everything. So /doom/start doom.sh.
Which tool is free and best for creating and interpreting Excel files? Whew. You could do it with any one of the top LLMs right now, I'd say.
I think we're having problems because it's in more of these.
Excel file might be kind of a proprietary file. You can export your Excel file into like a CSV format, and the LLMs will be able to read that even easier than the file itself.
Should be in there. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to put it into my GitHub. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, I bet you the GitHub is just empty.
No, it's not empty. Yes. That makes sense.
Every time it tries to run a command, it gets an error, though. Get that. What's going on? Unable to read current working directory. No such file.
We got good music in the background, at least.
Yeah, give it some time. It'll figure it out. It's just like, all right, I'm going to print working directory now. I can't even... It's like, where am I in this computer? Could be a shell issue. Yeah, totally. Here, escape. It's like, it's messed up.
Yeah.
Hit escape, and then even potentially /clear or /restore to go back in your conversation. Because it's just wasted context at that point. You can use compact too, or clear, yeah.
Both work.
Oh wait, I think you can go scroll back in your conversation in this CLI mode. It's kind of nice.
Matt, first time joining you live and just wanted to thank you for all your awesome posts. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, escape twice. That's what it is.
Air reading file. 0 files. Unacceptable.
Hey, sure you push to GitHub? Are you sure the GitHub actually has files in it?
It pushed it.
So also, are you running? You're running Claude not in the right directory.
You know what?
Right?
I'm just gonna do it in chat.
I don't think you're in the right directory. That's your whole problem with Claude. You started it in the parent directory.
Yeah, I'm gonna Claude code for another stream for it. I got unlimited problems with it right now. Pull it. I did pull it. Here we go. Pull the GitHub again.
Hold on. No. Stop. What directory are you in? Because I don't think you're in the right. See how all those files you're supposed to be in Doom. So you should exit Claude, go into the Doom directory, and then restart Claude so it can be in the right working directory.
Oh, you know what? My Claude code isn't hooked to my GitHub right now. Not gonna do it. This will make for the most frustrating live ever existed. Okay. Create Doom. Create the Doom game in a web browser. I just have to hook it up to my GitHub again. Again, that makes sense. Even though it was hooked up before, like it should have been working. I just updated it though. That may have messed it up. It's been a while. The last thing I used Claude Code to do was create a VR game in. Yeah, I'll be fine. No, but I just want to have a test that actually works for it.
I mean, I just use SSH. I don't know if you had SSH enabled there.
What's up, Mohammed? I'm good. We're just reviewing Claude Opus right now. Bit of issues on Claude Code, not Claude Code's fault. I probably should have set it up beforehand, but I'm interested to see if it could actually do this in a browser. We'll see.
All right, this looks good here. This looks like it's gonna actually be kind of like Doom. What is this matrix? What at level 3? Just matrix of numbers that are low, like 1 to 0
I don't
to
understand
3.
what the numbers represent. I'm just gonna take its word for it. It's really just creating a backdoor into my system right now via binary.
Oh, this is so wild. If this actually works, this is crazy. Look how many lines too. Jeez.
64K max output is not anything to mess around with.
Back player. Oh man, it's doing every single function.
It's going to work. Did you try it,
Pickup.
DGen? 20K lines? I don't know if it can output 20K lines. Maybe.
DGen says it's going to work.
I should make it, then copyright it.
It's drawing shapes. This is crazy. You understand if this looks like Doom?
Yeah, if this looks like Doom, I'm just walking off. Stream's over. If it looks like Doom, stream's over, okay? I can see myself lagging right now. Doom! What? What is going on? Okay.
It's an enhanced.
How do I move?
Square root function.
How do I turn? How do I turn?
Whoa! No way! Look at this. He used emojis for the models. That's so smart.
How do I didn't look at the...
Dude, I'm impressed. That's amazing.
Die. 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 I don't know how to turn my character. Let's see if it gives me instructions. The problem is the mouse isn't locking in for it. Can I launch this in a new window?
Well, hold on. Can you use like your keys, your arrow keys to go right and left?
Was to move and mouse look around. That's the problem.
Oh, mouse look around. Okay.
Oh, we have shield. We have hearts. Die. Die. Get out of here. Get out of here, Gypsy. That's not bad.
No, that's really amazing, actually.
It's probably just because it's in this that I can't. Here, let me tell it. Can't look around with my mouse.
So the problem is really hard because to make Doom, that's like, it's really, right? Even to make the old school Doom is such an intense project, but what it did is it gave us something that feels kind of like Doom, but with just tools that it could actually get the job done with.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like Doom, right? It's got the whole rendering system where the
it's getting hard.
You know?
Now it's just going crazy because it's changing the code in the background. Is it redoing all the code? Maybe.
Oh, with proper mouse look controls, it said. And it's in one page called doom.html.
Yeah, a single web page that's Doom.
It's not really optimized for a human to read, you know? Just one single HTML file.
I think it's redoing the entire code. There's no appending. It may work, like if I get the code and put it in an outside browser.
You gotta beat level 1. There's 3, 4
I
levels.
beat level 1.
Thing.
I got to
you
2.
Did?
I got to level
okay.
2
Okay.
without being able to look. It's game over. I'm gonna be Doom champion by the end of this, which is pretty crazy.
So what is that matrix, that level? Is it defining like the actual, like the block to like?
I think so.
Like use 1. It's like
Well, it probably makes like a grid, and then 1 is like a wall or something.
Yeah, 1's a wall, 0 is a grid. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if it looks like the level. Oh, it even has 2s in there, which may represent different colors. But yeah, I think that's the actual the map itself.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now publish and make me a millionaire. I did a bunch of on-chain games that have to be immutable, similar. Oh, that's crazy. Pickles, I should make Cookie Clicker. I probably could make Cookie Clicker. Hook it up to Nano Banana for the graphics. But yeah, we're gonna have to make a video on this one tonight. That's for sure. And someone got it to make Minecraft with a single prompt. The prompt was probably better than what I said. Create Doom game in web browser. And they probably used Claude Code for it from the start, which is what I should have done. I should have just did it in Claude Code and not... Oh, I built a landing page with it, which doesn't look that vibe coded. It's not bad. Where are we? We're still coding hard. It feels like I'm doing work when this thing just rattles off code. Restart the addiction 10 years later. I still have Cookie Clicker on my phone. You got this. Keep it coding. We need this. Bam. If you've made it this far, congrats. This is crazy. Game container. We're getting close. It's using emojis for the faces. That's hilarious. I should put Game Genie on this thing. If anyone knows what Game Genie is, respect.
Of course.
Here we go.
If I recall, Game Genie, you actually like put in codes, right?
Yeah, SLX PLOVS, unlimited lives in Mario.
Wait, didn't they already have cheats in Mario? No, that was like Sega games, they had cheats.
Yeah, you go. Pickles, you're right. I could just change the values and hack in my own game.
Yeah, you're gonna cheat in your own game that you just made?
Yeah.
Now make me a cheat engine for this game.
You could look it up. SLX PLOVS. That was the Game Genie code. SLX PLOVS.
IDDQD, IDKFA.
Mario 3 SLX PLOVS is a Game Genie code for the original NES game Super Mario Bros. 3 that provides infinite lives.
Doug Pickles, what is IDS PIS Pop D? I've never heard that one in Doom. That's a Doom code?
No, it's probably a Game Genie code.
Well, I know IDDQD is a Doom code.
It's still coding hard on this. I guess it is making simply AR, my wife, cheater.
That's
No,
what I would
wasn't.
end
Back
this
then, there
map.
was no save points. There wasn't any saving. It wasn't fair. I was just a child trying to beat a video game. Can it make Doom? Is a cheat code from Doom that is a joke based on Usenet post from 1993. Really? That's funny.
I think my favorite game with cheat codes was GTA. Like, it was so fun. Is it
Let's
gonna
go.
finish? Doesn't look like it. Oh, here we go.
I can
Yeah,
tell by
you're
how
right.
much it's lagging. To enable mouse look, use Q or E.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I can do it through here. Okay. Yeah, you gotta get out of the way. So they gave me keys for it because I can't.
Okay.
It's not fair. Now I can't fire.
Just click fire?
Get out of here.
Oh,
Let's
it
just
gave
try
you
to
a little
run from
super
them.
soaker. Oh, that's funny.
You'll never catch me.
Alright, yeah, you need to do some debugging, I think.
It's close enough. That's sweet.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It even has a mini map on the top right. That's so cool.
It's so good. All right. I think Tiffany Farmer. Yeah, my wife. I only know Motherload. Yeah, that's the one for Sims. All right, I think we're gonna end it there, just so we have a complete Claude 4.5 review. It's insane. I'm gonna release a video on it tonight, so check that out. Also, because I have to call to action at the end, give me a follow for more AI. You can see I review all AI tools. This was just one of them. I taught you recently how to make an AI music video, which was pretty amazing. Release videos all the time. So smash the follow or subscribe depending on the platform you're on. And yeah, I've been going live every single day. So why not? What time do I go live? Who knows? I'll get a stream schedule at some point, which I usually say, but that's what the plan is. Appreciate everybody jumping on, and we will talk soon.